talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is all.
Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talking, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. He is your host, Mr. MP80 Baby.
And that's your host right there, Mr. GPG.
And welcome to
our take on sports.
Yes, sir. On this sports podcast, man, we keep you in tune with all the latest information that's going on in the sports world. We never waste no time on this show. We ain't gonna do it right now. That's how we start the show off, man. We gonna dive right in, and we ain't gonna waste no time talking about these NBA injuries that's killing some of these teams that we've been rooting for, man. We're going to start off with the big one, man, Mr. Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry hurt his hamstring, game one, and Minnesota, and, man, they just taking advantage of it too, man. You know, they ended up getting that first game, but it looked like Golden State on their way out the door. Nephew, what you got to think? What you got to say about the Golden State Warriors and that key injury that they're going through?
Fortunately, you know, that's the part of the game, injuries. And Steph, you know, he was already lingering with a key injury with his thumb. You know, I posted a post, you know, on our YouTube channel about, you know, people going after his thumb and whatnot, trying to knock him out. So, I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, when you're 37 years old and you're asked to do what you was doing when you was 25, it shows. I mean, the same thing happened with Kobe Bryant. No matter how great of a shooter, athlete, playmaker, when that age, father time catch up with you and you're still doing the same thing that you was doing in your prime, these things happen to catch up with you. So I'm not surprised. I hate it because I feel like this year was a path for Golden State. The way they biggest contender was Houston to me, if it fell into their palms the way it did. And I'm not even gonna lie, Golden State actually been doing a lot better than what many thought they was going to be able to do without Steph. Granted that they did blow one game, like they got their top blown. But other than that, they've been right there with all the stars for Minnesota being able to play, you know. So, I mean, it goes to show you, I mean, again, I hate it for stuff, but, I mean, it's part of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Injuries are a part of the game, man. We hate to see it happen to such a great player, especially somebody that does so much running around on the court, man. Such a great shooter. You take Steph Curry off of the Golden State Warriors and you seeing what's the result, man. Jimmy Butler, he can only do so much. But he is Robin, you know, and Steph is Batman. That's the way it was going down. He even admitted that. Without Steph Curry, man, Ant-Man and them, it was going to be tough to beat Minnesota with the healthy Steph Curry anyway. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, in my opinion, Minnesota is loaded and they pretty tough, man. They got everything you need. They got length, they got athleticism, they got shot blocking, defensiveness, you know, defenders, defensive player of the year, and Rudy Gobert at one time. So it was going to be hard for them to beat them. And I'm not surprised they're down 3-1, probably about to lose, you know, tonight, you know, when they play. But it's a tough one for Steph, man. I just hope he come back and be better than he was when he got hurt. But there is another injury, man, that we got to talk about. Suffered last night, man. It was devastating. Mr. Jayson Tatum. Mr. Jayson Tatum tore his Achilles last night. Everybody saw it. You know, you ran a little clip on it. But what I want to know one thing. Do you think that the Boston Celtics can still, you know, stay afloat? You think they can still hang with New York, even though Jayson Tatum is done?
No, I mean, how can I even say that when you just told me without Steph for the last 4 games, you were surprised that, you know, we just said we surprised that Golden State was able to hang. They had Jayson Tatum all these games and still, you know, got swamped twice at home. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I believe that series was over, but regardless, whether Jayson was in the lineup or not, if they dropped that L like they did in game 4, then the series is over regardless.
I think they was on their way to winning that one though, Neff. I
Man,
mean, Jayson Tatum was having a game
I
now.
mean,
he was on fire.
You can tell me all what they was on their way to do. I sat here and watched them drop 2 with at home with a 20-point lead. So I don't know what they could and what they can't do. I'm going off the facts. You know me. I'm going off the facts. And factual
Right.
my analytics is saying that even if they had to drop that game like they did game 4, they was out the window anyway. They lost 2 at home. They can't be trusted even on their home court. So if I was a Boston Celtics fan, which I call them softened Celtics, we ran a clip earlier in the season. I asked you, are we giving Boston their credit? I said a lot of critics like myself are saying Boston is still soft, even though they defending champs. You said what you said. I might have to run a clip on it. You said what you said. That was one of our earliest episodes, you know, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5s, one of them tapes. But you told me what you said. I told you then they were softened.
Hey, look. I'm not no Boston Celtics fan. That is the one thing that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sit here and act like that I am, but I will give them the credit where credit is due. They are the defending champions. And if they were healthy going into this league, going into this playoffs, then I expected them to go far. I really did, especially, but you got to take into consideration they didn't have Porzingis, and now they're losing Jayson Tatum.
When
you know what I'm saying?
When did they have Porzingis? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they swept the first round. They didn't need Porzingis the first round.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in this one right here. I'm talking about against the New York Knicks. I think a healthy Boston Celtics team would have beat the New York Knicks, even though it didn't seem like that. They dropped 2, but then they came right back to New York and took game 3. And then they were in game 4. Jayson Tatum was having a great game. Then he got hurt. And then New York went on and won the game. I'm saying, in my opinion, I think if Jayson Tatum hadn't got hurt, they would have won game 4, and that ties the series up 2-2. So that changes everything.
Jayson Tatum got hurt at the end of third quarter, fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
Right. And New York was up. You know what I'm saying?
It was close though. You know how these games go.
It was close, but
you know how these games go. Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basketball, man, you could be up 1 minute and it could flip the next. How many times New York then came back from 20-point deficits? You know what I'm saying? So the same thing. All I'm saying is Jayson Tatum was at what? He had 45 points before he got hurt.
And that's
you know what I'm saying? The boy
should have already been winning. The way he and Derek White was shooting, they should have already been winning. And we should not be having this debate whether he stayed in at the end of the fourth quarter. Would they had came back and won? They should have been winning. Just period, point blank.
You can't discount New York in the heart of them. Them boys play hard, man, and they were in New York, and they got ballers. Jalen Brunson is the fourth quarter player of the year, right? So you can't discount them cats, man. Even though Jayson Tatum was having a great night and Derek White was hitting threes all over the place, New York was still playing hard. I mean, Josh Hart was still playing hard. Mikal Bridges was still D'ing up. Jalen Brunson was still Jalen Brunson, and Mitchell Robinson can still come in and give him that defensive presence. So it was still a good game. All I'm saying is it could have went either way. When Jayson Tatum got hurt, all of a sudden New York went on a run, and now they're up 3-1. It looks like they're going to probably finish them out because Jayson Tatum is done probably till next summer or whenever he can recover from this torn Achilles. But I'm wondering, in this next game, Game 5, or yes, no, Game 5, right? Game 5. Who wins that? Does Boston have enough going home, or you know what I'm saying, or will they end up going back to New York?
So my thing is this again. Okay, no team is healthy going into the playoffs anyway.
Right.
But okay, but they had Tatum game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, all the way up to the end of the fourth quarter. Then, close to the end of the fourth quarter. So game 1, game 2, let's just concentrate on game 1, game 2. Game 1, game 2. If we even want to question, do they have enough to win without Tatum? Game 1, game 2 at home field, home court advantage. The number 2 seed. You shouldn't drop that one game at home. If you're going to drop any game, it should just be one. You should not drop 2 games at home. Let's start there.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. But we've seen Boston do this before. We've seen them drop games to Miami. Do you remember the time when they dropped all them games at home to the Miami Heat, and it looked like Miami was finna go ahead and run away with it? So then Miami was up 3-1, and then what did Boston do? Won the next game. Then they came back. Now it's 3-2. Then they came back. Now it's 3-3. Now they're in game 7. All of a sudden, Jayson Tatum gets hurt at the beginning of the game. Miami wins the game. They go on and go on into the NBA Finals. All I'm saying is we've seen Boston do this before. Right. I'm not discounting them because of the other players they got.
Everything you just said. This the same Boston, exactly what you just said. Jayson Tatum got hurt. Miami went up. That's all. We're not seeing, just like I told you before, everything about Cleveland, which we'll go into, is the same. I told you that on the take. I said, no, I don't trust 1 and 2 because these teams have shown us who they are. There's no growth within the organization. Cleveland is going to always make it to the playoffs. They always going to have a high number of wins. They're going to always finish 1 or 2, and they're going to fumble every time in the playoffs, like they showing you right now. And Boston, outside of last year and the year they went to the finals and played Golden State, this team with Jayson Tatum and Brown, they was just talking about breaking that team up previously, them going to the finals against Golden State. That year, them going to the finals that year against Golden State was the year they said, okay, maybe we need to get rid of 1, maybe 2 pieces, bring in another piece that can play defense and shoot the ball, and maybe we can get it done. Because before then, they was just going to get rid of everybody. So no, I mean, to me, GPG, Mr. GPG, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from when what you're saying. But no, they can't get it done with Tatum on the court. They're not going to get it done with them off the court.
We're going to wait and see. It's going to be good, man. I believe. I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you. I think New York is on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Indiana Pacers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think, because the Indiana Pacers did eliminate those Cleveland Cavaliers that you was just speaking on, okay? And Donovan Mitchell, another year, you're going home without that championship. 114, 105 win. Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton, them boys look real. What you think? Do they got a chance if they go up against the New York Knicks or the Boston Celtics? Whoever comes out that series, does Indiana have a chance?
Man, it's funny that you asked me this, because I promise you, I was just having this discussion a few hours ago, maybe about 3-4 hours ago, about Indiana and New York Knicks. And I'm gonna be 100, especially if you're a betting man and you watch our show. I told you before, I said, hey, I don't care what Mr. GPG say. If you're a betting man in America, you better bet on me. No, the Pacers will not advance to go to the finals. Hallelujah. They made it to the Eastern Conference Final. But the Knicks will give them everything they asking for.
I don't agree with you. I think the Indiana Pacers, they ready. They there, they hungry, they ain't hurt, they healthy, they strong. Tyrese Halliburton got that killer in them. I mean, them boys is ready, man. Nimhart and Neesmith and them boys, man. Look, you see what they just did to the Cavaliers in 5 games. They got rid of the number 1 team in the East in 5 games. And I don't want to hear nothing about the injuries to certain players because especially coming from you. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from you when you talk about it's a part of the game. That's exactly what you just said with
I
Steph
did.
Curry and all this and all that. What they just did to the Cavaliers in 5 games, you cannot discount the Indiana Pacers, man. Them boys was ready, man. This is the 2nd year in a row that they done been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Last year they got beat by the Boston Celtics. Don't forget they beat New York last year in those playoffs. And I know that New York was a little banged up. I do understand that. But like you just said, we don't make no excuses on our Take on Sports for your injuries. You know what I'm saying? Next man up. So with that being said, just took care of business last year, and I expect them to do the same thing, whether they play the Boston Celtics or the New York Knicks. I think the Indiana Pacers on their way to the NBA Finals, bro.
I don't think they're on the way to the finals. Eastern Finals, yes, but the Knicks will give them everything they asking for. I don't believe they can get past the closer, the number 1 closer in the game right now. I don't think they will get past Bronson. That's just my belief. And again, America, if you're a betting man and you like to win, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you which side of the screen you need to be looking at right now.
Look,
I'm just
don't make
you know
me go back in history and pull up the stuff that you said was supposed to happen that didn't.
Hey man, I remember we talked about what teams are sleeper team. Every one of my sleeper teams made it to the playoffs. Now all yours, San Antonio didn't make it to the playoffs.
San Antonio wasn't my only sleeper team. That was my team in the West, MP. Don't forget, I said the Indiana Pacers. I said the Indiana Pacers.
But my main word was all my sleeper teams made it to the playoffs. That's all I ain't arguing with you. You're right. Everybody except for San Antonio for what I can think of. You might be, but hey, I'm one up on you. I said if you're a betting man in America, a betting man, if you you can't afford to lose one. Then,
you know what?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
A blood clot to my boy Victor Wembanyama.
Hey man, this part of the game. This is what I want to ask you though. This is what I want to ask you. So we're talking about injuries and stuff before we get ready to move on from injuries and what teams and this and that. Out of the injuries that we know that happened, like we know Cleveland, Garland, Mobley, they was hurt the first couple of games and whatnot. We know Steph, he hasn't played nothing but a quarter and some change, on his end. We know that Tatum is out. So out of all these injuries that we're talking about right here, I want to ask you, which one of these injuries do you feel is the most devastating?
Jayson Tatum got another $300 million man on his team, Jaylen Brown. He also got Porzingis. He also got Derek White, who was an Olympian. So I'm definitely not going to say them. I'm saying the Golden State Warriors because without them, it's showing you right now. Without Steph, there's no Golden State Warriors. You're not winning anything. You can try to bring in Jimmy. You can hope and pray that Draymond stay out of foul trouble and don't get thrown out the game or something like that. And Podinski or whatever, he ain't been giving you nothing lately. You know what I'm saying? So Steph Curry is the biggest injury that the NBA has had. Man, without Steph, it changed the whole Western Conference. It changed everything, yo. The Golden State Warriors could have won to the NBA Finals if Steph hadn't suffered that injury. That's what I believe. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. I definitely have to agree with you. Out of any injury that could have happened, especially on the West Coast, Steph Curry is the last injury that needed to happen for their team. I believe he just means too much, for his team. Everything about Golden State evolves around Steph. Even when he don't have the ball, he does so much more for other players. And
we were talking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I really did,
Good,
but it just popped in my head because I didn't want to forget about it. Me and you were talking about Steph running around the court and drawing 3 defenders, which left Gary Payton Jr. wide open for a dunk. That don't happen now that he's not on the court. Those easy shots that Gary Payton was getting, those layups, those nice little Buddy Hield getting those nice little pin downs and, those little screens set for him because they so worried about number 30 over there. Yeah. He ain't getting that no more.
That's right.
Golden State ain't doing that. That's why his injury is the biggest injury that happened in the NBA playoffs this year.
Yeah. I definitely have to agree with you on because he draws so much attention, like you said. He can get it inside the paint. He can get it all the way from half court. Mm-hmm. Little bit of space because of the timing of his release. A bunch of space. Wide open, not open.
Means everything.
And so he means everything, even all the way to the defense of Golden State. The little bitty steals, the little bitty rebounds, because we know he's scrappy.
You're so worried about this man. You're so worried about him. You so worried. Ain't nobody. 2 guys are open all the time because everybody's watching Steph. So, yeah, that's the biggest injury, man. It really is. It's bad what happened to Jayson Tatum. Don't get me wrong. I tore my Achilles, and I know exactly what he's going through. That's a hard injury right there, bro. And the way he went down, he completely ruptured his. I read that he just had surgery today. Jayson Tatum, hopefully you get a speedy recovery, man.
Yeah, we don't see. You and I, we both know what it looked like. We don't see, this happen so many times, especially non-contact. It was automatically Achilles. I didn't even have to wait. I went on the post. I posted, ran up. The numbers ran up, of course, real quick, but I didn't need to wait on no medical report because we don't seen it. You don't went through it. So, we both know what the injury looked like when it happens. And as soon as it happened, I automatically said, he done. His season over with. Next year is over. Since summer next year is over with. So, And the next thing is, the Tatum you saw before the Achilles, when he was heating up, he couldn't miss anything. Will you get that back? That's the question. He's still young, but
it remains to be seen, man. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember when Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles?
Yep.
I know you do. As much as an Atlanta Hawk fan you are and always have been. You remember when Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles and he came back?
Yep.
Couldn't even jump. Couldn't even dunk. You remember when Kobe tore his Achilles?
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah. And, again, like we were talking about, that injury with Kobe, so much wear and tear, at an early age, and your team asking you to still play at such a high efficiency.
The only thing that may help him is the fact that he is young, though, like you said. Yeah. That he is young, so maybe he can recover from it. So.
What they talking about? They talking about what?